Welcome back to another episode of Talking Tarkov. I'm the EarLegAthlete here with,
Hey, Dizzle.
and today we've got a few things to go over, from the new tracksuit leak to the ref pricing changes. So let's get right to it. So, like I said, let's start with the tracksuit.
Yeah, nice
So
new color combination.
yeah, I like it. We've seen teases for different colors and tracksuits and things. Do you think that there's a chance? I'm just going straight into it here. I could be completely off basis. Do you think this is the potentially the promised EOD clothing and stuff?
Ooh, you know,
Just a
um,
thought.
it's weird because we've seen a few different color combinations now. Remember we got that leak that
There was
one
the
time that
red
had like
one.
camouflage. Yeah, the red one.
Yeah,
There
the
was a
camouflage
camouflage
one.
one. Now we got a white and black one. I almost think, like you said, yeah, I could see it being a Edge of Darkness clothing, or I could see it being the hardcore wipe reward. And depending on
That's
your prestige, it
yeah, how
might
far you
depend
get
on the
into
outfit
it.
you get. Yeah, like if you just play it, you might get like a basic variation. If you
Yeah, you get the
get
red one.
prestige 1, right, you might get the camo one, or get prestige 2, you might get the white and black. You know what I mean? Something like that maybe.
Yeah, because they have already locked like the some of the Hawaiian shirts that we can't purchase on the website. I think there's a total of four, set of four shirts or outfits, and two of them were for sale on the store, and I think one or two of them are locked behind prestiges.
Yeah, yeah,
The
2 of
cool
them
thing
are, yeah.
about yeah, the cool thing about prestiges is you're like, oh man, I'm never gonna get four prestiges in a wipe. They carry over from wipe to wipe to wipe, and I'd imagine that'll be the case with 1.0. I could be wrong, so don't hold me to that. But potentially you'll have several wipes to build up through all the prestige sets. That way you can unlock everything they offer. In my opinion, the prestige stuff feels like something that was going to be introduced with 1.0, or at least maybe that they wanted to introduce 1.0, and this is just a testing phase for it. I don't know. But I kind of
Yes.
always thought that prestige was like a 1.0 thing. It would make the most sense to have it in 1.0 because that's like something to really work towards.
Yeah,
So
Nikita has said it's gonna carry on throughout the base 1.0.
okay, so yeah, so start now working towards your first prestige. Next wipe, hit prestige to your second prestige. It sure some people can get multiple prestiges in a wipe, but not everybody. Not everybody can. So it's one of those
Right.
things that you don't have to try to like outpace yourself on. You can actually take your time and just focus on getting one per wipe. Because getting kappa, getting all those things, grinding to the end game is never necessarily an easy task for the average player. So the fact that you can
Well,
get it one each cycle and just keep building up to have everything unlocked is cool.
and several players have been able to prestige. Players that are not by any means like PvP chads, are not Tarkov grinders. I've seen casual Tarkovers with prestige. So
Yeah,
it is
it's
obtainable.
definitely doable.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because it's
it's not
only a
out of
set
reach.
amount of tasks that you actually have to go to. It's only a set level that you have to reach. So prestiging realistically isn't all that hard.
Right.
I think that you could be right though. I think that these might be some of the newer prestige stuff unlocks.
Yeah, because well, he said there would be special things for the hardcore prestige. So I was just
Right.
thinking these are like the latest things that we've seen is a lot of variations of the tracksuit, and being that we're having the hardcore wipe now, it just seems to fit. Um, Although we could, like you said, it could just be something for Edge of Darkness.
Could be
Maybe
different
maybe
editions.
arena
Each
even.
edition gets one. Yeah.
Might even be arena. Might even be clips or just previews of the next battle pass. There's
Yeah,
so
that's
many
true.
different variations or so many different ways for us to receive gear now. It's kind of cool because we can't just say for sure what it is. There's so many different ways to get gear now.
Yeah, it opens up the door on speculation because while we'll see things, for months before anything's revealed or actually teased to us, well, specifically like with the iceberg map, we were seeing pieces of it for so long. And I've gone back and watched some of our Talking Tarkov episodes where we were doing the Nikki leaks, and we had speculated, oh, it's terminal, it's the
Right.
reserve add-ons, it's this, it's that, and then it just turns out to just be this little piece of fucking iceberg. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's cool. And it just goes to show that you really can't lock down for sure. Like things can look a certain way, but they always have this other idea in mind, and it always turns out to be the opposite of what we think.
Well,
Um,
before
Not
you
always,
could
but
well, I was gonna say before, everything they ever showed was in game.
it was
Every
Tarkov.
outfit,
Yeah, yeah,
every location, they had never strayed away from that, but now there's, uh, website purchases, there's arena, battle pass, there's, just different variations of the game getting their own clothing sets, so it's like there's so many different ways now to get things, you just can't be sure.
yeah.
But before you always knew if it was, teased, whether it was a location or an outfit, everything was in game. They had never done anything outside of the game until recently.
Right. But yeah, it's cool because now there's, multiple outlets for information and multiple things to speculate on. And it definitely keeps us on our toes and it keeps us busy. And I'm always surprised when something that like have heavily speculated on that we just could not come to like, oh, I don't know, this could be anything. And then it pops up to be something, even though it's minor. I think it was the spawn room on the iceberg for the left hand side of the map. I had turned around, I was streaming the other day, and I was like, "Oh, Adam, remember how we were speculating on
Yeah, yeah.
TT about the train and this like side of the mountains and things?" And then it's literally just the spawn for Iceberg, which I thought was awesome. It's a minor thing, but they had teased it, and we had speculated like a lot of different things towards it. We were like potential lighthouse rework stuff. It could be here, it could be this, it could be that, and it's literally just your spawn area.
Well, that's one of the cool things about Nikita keeping so many things under wraps and not just giving everything away is it
Right.
leaves speculation open for almost everything. Um, but I got to give them their props real quick because something that they do anytime they do show outfits or anything that you can get, even though there's usually one way, like either you got to buy it, either you got to have a certain version of the game, they still put it in the game somehow, some way where you can obtain it. Like even with
Yeah.
the Hawaiian
Yeah.
shirts, it's like, yeah, you have to buy them to get them, but you know what? They throw them in
You
there
can
behind
prestige it
prestige,
out.
so there is a
Yeah.
way to get them. And it's like so far, at least
Not
as
every
far as
game
I
studio is
know,
doing that either.
well, I was gonna say, as far as I know, they've pretty much done that with everything. Like the only thing I don't think you've been able to get is the shorts.
Which is true, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only
Which
thing I can think
I
of.
don't.
I wouldn't be surprised if they add it somewhere, somehow, some way where you
Right,
can get them
right,
later.
yeah. I say I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't take it off the table.
It's like
Um,
the old school Call of Duty way when they used to have the uh what was the thing called where you bought the boxes and you opened them? They were just called supply drops, I think, but you bought them with
yeah,
real money.
supply drops. Yeah,
Well, when they first started doing that, they just made it where you can just straight up buy them, or you could grind the game and still get them. Eventually, they lost their way, and it's like the only way you could get them was supply drops, or the only way you could get them was battle pass. You could not grind the game and get them. But
yeah.
Tarkov's still
Money had to
sticking
be
to
spent.
that. Yeah, they're still sticking to that where if you don't buy it, you still have a way to obtain it. It might be a difficult way to get it, and it might be a lot of grinding, a lot of time spent. But if you really want that, at least they're giving you another way to get it. And it seems like they've been following that ever since they started releasing skins.
Yeah, yeah, which is cool. And
Yeah, because
obviously
people
there
will
are
say
some
they
things
don't.
that are set exclusive. Like some of the clothing options are exclusive to being purchased. Like I don't know if there's a way you can unlock the USEC Deadly Frog outfit.
I don't think there
I think
is,
it's
but I wouldn't
only
be
available.
surprised. I wouldn't be
I wouldn't be
surprised if
surprised if
they
something comes up
eventually,
later.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised with 1.0 dropping if they eventually give you a way. Because at the end of the day, they just want people playing their game. Like
right.
if they
Well,
alienate people too much from it, it's like the more people you have playing the game, not only are the more people that are going to grind and get those things, but also the more people that are going to purchase those things. The more
right.
people playing, they're just going to straight up buy them. So it's like
Yeah,
it's a win-win. I think
I think so.
we'll see.
There, since we are talking about BSG and money, and the way they are with money,
Yeah,
I think this is something we should talk about. A topic we should
yeah,
bring up real quick.
I
We
agree.
don't have to go deep into it, but it is something we should talk about, and that is um, my thoughts and opinion, your thoughts and opinions on BSG introducing the hardcore wipe and unlocking ref level 1 and 2, but also on top of knowing that there's no other way of getting cases. adding more lines of stash space so we can have like 56 lines additional instead of the 28. So they added an additional 28 lines. Do you think that's a little like greedy, a little nefarious, or do you think it's okay and like just something that they did? Like, yeah, it's a money grab, but it's also like, yeah, you guys can't get cases, so here's a cheap, efficient way to expand your stash space. Because personally, I recognize it as what it is. They are a game studio and it is a cash grab. It is a cash grab. You put us in the midst of a hardcore wipe where stash space is the most troublesome aspect of it right now, managing all your gear, especially on standard accounts or, any account really. And then kind of dangling out like, oh, well, here's some extra stash space. You could only get 28 before you had them. You're still out of space. Here's 28 more. It's just like, okay, that's a bit cash grabby, but at the same time, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I think what they did was fine. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, and I don't think that it's like, "Oh, they're fucking us over," but it is a cash grab in my opinion. I think it's, like, it's obvious that it is.
Yeah,
I'm not faulting them for it, and
no.
I think it's okay to recognize, like, "Oh, yeah, they're trying to make some money," and that's I got no real issue with it because it's optional, and you don't have to do it. And there are way to acquire cases. Granted, they are expensive, but
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. I see it both sides. It's definitely a cash grab, 100%. Like, they knew people needed stash space right now, so perfect time to open up extra lines to purchase.
extra
But
lines. Yeah.
here's the thing, though. The reason I don't care is because they've always sold extra space, like, since the beginning. If you had the regular version and you bought Edge of Darkness, you got extra stash space.
Right.
And then a couple wipes ago, all of a sudden now you can just go on the website and you can buy lines, you can buy extra lines. So everybody is already on different levels as far as how much space they have. You have a ton of
Right.
people with standard accounts that probably don't have any space at all. Then you have a ton of people with Edge of Darkness accounts that have that additional space, but then they also got the extra space you could buy. So everybody's
Then
kind of
there's
on
people like me who
uneven.
have Unheard plus the additional 28, and
Yeah,
I do
same.
intend to buy the extra 28, so I'll have the additional
Right.
56 total.
Yeah, same me. I got the Unheard, I got the extra 28, like, but here's the thing. It's like I recognize it looks bad, but the fact they've never tried to hide it and have never been like, "Oh, we're
Right.
not going to sell you stash space." They've always done
Right.
it, always been upfront about it. I don't care. Um
Well, I
and
think a
the
lot of times,
hardcore
like,
wipe
the
doesn't bother me because the part of hardcore wipe really has nothing to do with your stash. Like when you think about it, it's items are more expensive. You can't insure items like you used to. So really you have less gear. So if ever this
you
is the
should,
time
in
you've had the
theory,
most
have
stash
less gear.
space. Yeah,
Right.
this is the time you should really have the most stash space. They've locked the traders down, so it's not like they're just taking
Right.
cases away. They've been taking everything away. It
Yeah.
happens to work out perfectly to sell stash space, but at the same time, I just don't correlate the two. I don't think
Well,
they're
here's the thing.
exclusively like mutual. I don't think it really
Right.
matters.
No.
But I
It's just
understand
an
people who are
opportune time to
frustrated.
introduce it and be like, "Hey, you need more space, we got you." Like, I like,
Right. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. I think
It's
it's okay.
definitely
Like,
on
it is
purpose.
what it is, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's on
it's
purpose,
fine.
100%.
But here's the thing too. The majority of the people that I've seen complaining about stash space are the people that we called out that would pretty much do what we said they would do off the rip, and they have done it and then complained about it. Those people
Yeah,
that are like,
yeah.
"Oh, 100% boss spawn. Let's go farm the fuck out of it. Let's go get as much gear as possible. Let's go get just PKP, 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 and then like, oh, we can go get the goons. We can go farm, the water treatment area for the rogues. We can go farm any boss and just collect all the gear and have all these level 6 helmets and face masks and all this." It's like, yeah, sure, you can do those things, but now you don't really necessarily want to run all of that gear, so it's overloading your stash. So now the things that you need to bring in, weapon parts, ammo, food, meds, things like that, have less and less space. So of course you're bitching that you don't have space. You took advantage
Right.
of something that they did to make it a cool factor for the game and abused it. And it's like now you're turning around and you're just bitching and moaning and complaining. Oh, I'm on a standard account, and after I farmed your bosses for 6 days or 6 hours, 12 hours, I don't have space in my stash. Okay, well that wasn't the intention of the hardcore wipe, and that was never the idea that you should have been behind. Like the 100% bosses were there just to add that extra oomph to it. It was never intended, I'm sure, that players would go just farm the fuck out of them. I don't think, I'm sure it's an expectation that was there on the table. Like they were like, yeah, players are going to do this. But, that was a choice that you made as the player. The amount of stash space that you had is only so much. Like, so I'm not having any issue, right? I'm not out here farming bosses. I'm not farming rogues. I'm not over trying to bring in more gear than I actually need. Like I've already brought in more gear than I need, and I still have I'd say like a quarter or more of my stash space left that I refuse to fill up, and I've been selling shit just to kind of clear space because like you only need a couple kits. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just one of those things. Like
No,
sure,
I'm right there with you. I'm
people, but
pretty
that's
much
kind of what the community does, or at least
well,
part of the
yeah,
community
but it's
does.
to be
Is they
expected. It's that's just the way people play Tarkov. Any leg up you can get, you do. And most people that try to act like holier than everybody and they act like, oh no, everyone's going to do this, they're the ones who usually end up doing what they're talking about. And
right,
we've noticed that some of the streamers this way. But here's the other thing is that's just Tarkov. And, I've come to realize that no matter what, it doesn't really matter. I have a ton of stash space, and yet I still fill up my stash space. I've played on a regular account. Yeah, it sucks, but you can at least upgrade your stash space to like an unheard, or not unheard, but to
yeah.
a Edge of Darkness. Um, so it's like there are ways to get it, and I understand like being upset, like if they try to like do it behind everyone's back, but they've done it out in the open. Everyone knows they do this. Like I said, they've done it since the beginning. They've always sold lines. And like, I'm just the type of player, I'm going to fill my stash no matter how much stash space I have. So even if I buy those
Right.
50 other extra slots,
They're
here's the
still getting
thing.
filled up.
Yeah, here's the thing. Being able to hold on to a little bit more gear is not really giving me a leg up on
Any kind of
anybody.
advantage. Yeah.
Because yeah, it's like it's just not it doesn't matter in this hardcore way because the gear that you don't keep right now, you're turning into money. The gear that you do keep right now, you're dying one time with it and losing it.
Yeah, you're losing it
So
due to no insurance.
yeah, so it's like whether you're storing that gear or using that gear, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's all
It's
temporary.
yeah, none of it matters at the moment. They seen a golden opportunity to make some money. They are a studio that is needing money. So, like Nikita always says, servers are crazily expensive. And it just seems like they have to have a constant source of money. And they've decided to use skins and stash space. Better
Well, and
that
here's the thing.
than weapons and actual gear that you can buy,
Right.
armor.
Pay to
Like
win
pay
type
to win,
mechanics.
yeah, pay to win stuff is another route they could go, and they haven't. And they know they would make a
Yeah.
ton more money if they did. Yes,
Well, and they
everybody
could
would
be,
revolt and complain, but people would also buy it. Look at Arena Breakout. People buy that stuff all
yeah,
the time. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, so they've still made what I think is the better choice and the more ethical choice of, just going with skins and stash space.
Right. And it's not some crazy like month to month you have to spend $10 to get this battle pass and you have
Right,
to grind
right.
out the battle pass and you can spend additional money to unlock the things further. It's hey, we have a website. If you want to buy these things, they're completely optional.
Right.
Um Could they
Or
just
it's not
increase,
like a
standard edition sizes? Yeah, but that's also part of the driving force to have players upgrade. Like they
yeah.
still want to make money. They still want money coming in. They still need those things to be happening. So it's like, sure, standard account's fine. You can play the game, but you are limited. You do have
Yep.
limitations in front of you, and that's the purchase of the standard account. Like that's just what you get when you go into it. You get a baseline amount of stuff and space to play the game.
And it was never hidden.
It,
It was always told straight up
it's
from the time
always
you
in your
bought the
face.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been listed. This is what you're paying for. If you want,
Yeah.
this version of the game,
More
you're going to
cells, more
have
of
to
this.
upgrade your
Yeah.
stash. If you don't, then you get a little more stash space. You give us a little more money, you get a little easier time. And like I said, holding gear is not like making someone win. Like that doesn't make someone win. Holding more gear just means you got more things that you can hold on to. And we know how it usually goes. By the end of the wipe, most of our stash is full of
90% of it's
stuff
getting
that
thrown
just
away.
gets deleted and
Yeah.
reset each
Yeah.
wipe. So it's like, I get it from both sides. I really do. Like, I understand from the people who don't like it. You don't have to like it. You can be upset about it, but you also have to realize that it could be much worse if they actually went the pay to win route. So I accept that and I'm cool with that. It's a middle ground that I think all of us should be okay with. But if you're not, I understand why.
All right. Moving on, we have this new dog tag. We're not sure why or what. It could be a hardcore thing, like one of the because there's multiple achievements for the hardcore wipe. This could just be the entry, like started the hardcore wipe or played the hardcore wipe. This could also be, I don't know, a new look for your generalized dog tags. It could be a new one of the account variants for a dog tag. This could again go multiple routes. Like who
Yeah.
knows? This could be capture or like a what do they call it? In escape from Call of Duty is what I was about to say. In Call of Duty, they have the dog tag game, right? What do they call that?
Oh,
You
they
kill the guy, you take his dog tag. You kill the guy, you take the
yeah, yeah,
dog
yeah,
tag.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just can't think of the name of it.
This could be a model for the floating dog tag that we're gonna be able to pick up as we run over a body. I don't know. It genuinely could go any route. What I think it is personally is probably something to do with, like, hardcore, like, a medallion that you can potentially hang up, and if not, it's maybe one of the additions you are getting in each edition will have its own type of dog tag maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it looks cool. I like the design. I like the idea behind it.
I'm leaning towards this either being like a dog tag that you get showing that you participated in the hardcore wipe, just some way saying, "Hey, you participated. Here's you
Yeah.
a way to show people." Or I'm looking at it as kind of like what you said, a new form of dog tag showing like your account beginning. Like this is the year your account started.
Well, it could also just be the beta edition dog tag, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. This is like you were at least there
Through
before
the beta,
the
yeah,
final
before the
wipe.
full release,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it's like here's your way to show it.
Here's your memorabilia. Here's your way of showing
And
you were a beta
real quick,
member.
that game mode's called Kill Confirmed.
Kill confirmed. That is the game mode on Call of
Yeah, I don't know
Duty.
why I couldn't think of that. I don't know why.
I don't think Arena is getting kill confirmed.
No,
They
no, no, I
possibly
doubt it.
could. I was just saying this could go anywhere for the dog tag. Like it
I wouldn't be surprised if Arena eventually gets some more arcade-ish game modes, such as like a team deathmatch and because they had talked
gun
about that.
game.
Yeah, they had even talked about that before, saying that it will eventually get a bunch more game modes. So I'm sure we'll see some stuff. So maybe it still possibly could.
Yeah, I'm a little curious, but yeah, that's a good point though. I never really thought about that. This could be like the beta dog tag. Your thanks for
Oh,
playing in the beta. Here it is.
and before you go to the next thing, something freaking huge that I didn't even know. I just noticed it earlier. A family lost their dog several days searching.
Oh no.
Never mind, I can't even do it. Sorry.
We had a small bit that Adam started when we were just like
Yeah,
so when
I
we
messed it up.
record these, we obviously we get a little list of things that we want to touch on and talk about, especially news related. And then if we are riffing, that's one thing, but we'll deep dive into the behind the scenes. But he was scrolling through shit on Twitter looking for like little bits of information. He's like, "Oh, dude, huge! This is huge." And he kept a straight face at that point, and he told me the story.
Yeah, yeah. I'll go ahead
Yeah.
now. I can say a family lost their dog several days. Search for him using drones. What they discovered left them speechless. The dog had made friends with a family of bears, and there's a drone
Oh,
video showing their dog running with a family of bears. And I don't know why, but it just completely like cracked me up, and I could not keep a
yeah.
straight face. I thought it was hilarious. And then I forgot about it, and just now I just opened Twitter again, and that was the first thing that
That was
popped
the
up.
first thing
So
on? Yeah, that's
that's why I
awesome.
lost it because it was just like I did not expect to see that again.
That's so good. Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
all
the
right,
family of
yeah.
bears could have been, USEC operatives, or
That's
not
true.
USEC operatives, bear operatives.
Well, it's
The bears
you
are
know,
USEC. Yeah,
bears adults.
hopefully yeah, hopefully that dog bear family is okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, like you called, we are moving on to the next one. There's only so much we can talk about with the dog tag. The next thing we've got is 2,000 cheaters were banned since July 9th, 2025. More than 2,000 cheaters have been banned in Escape from Tarkov, which is pretty cool. We know that they like to do the ban waves just to try to catch as much at once and, add in anything additional they want to add in. So just knowing that they're still being on top of it since the start of the wipe, I believe that is July 9th ish, maybe a day or
yeah.
two into it. But yeah, like so 2,000 cheaters this wipe have been banned. That's cool. That's good news. There was also a little bit of like a conversation with Airwing Marine and Nikita. It was very brief. It was just this is how I think Airwing had said like this is how language barriers cause issues, and he said something about uh a kernel level anti cheat being an R&D right now,
Right.
and
Well,
Airwing goes,
what it
so it
was,
is.
what it was is someone had asked Nikita, "Is it a kernel level anti cheat?" Nikita said no. And they said, "Are you planning one?" He said, "Yes, it's in R&D." Airwing said he spoke up and was like, "I think this is language barrier because it is a kernel level anti cheat. Like Battle Eye is a
Yeah,
kernel
it
level
operates
anti
on ring
cheat."
0.
And Nikita spoke up and said, "No, it's not kernel level." Well, me knowing a little bit about it, what I know is there are different levels. You can subscribe to, like when you're a studio and you won't buy an anti cheat, such as this one, you can subscribe to different levels. You can subscribe to a kernel level or you cannot. Nikita is trying to say it's not the kernel level right now, but we're working on implementing it. Airwing
Yeah.
was thinking that, like he had messed it up. Nikita's like, no, I didn't mess it up. I'm telling you the truth. But in reality, you can have either or. Yes, Battle Eye is kernel level, but you don't have to
And
subscribe to the kernel level. So I think it just, everybody was misunderstanding each other, which I understood it from the beginning. I don't know how it got so misunderstood,
misconstrued.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but Nikita was like, it's not, this is not like language barrier. This is, it's not kernel level. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
how something got messed up because I'm speaking Russian. It's just not kernel level. And it just, a lot of people obviously don't know a lot about anti cheats. Airwing does. So I'm surprised that he
I
didn't pick
think
up on that. But
well, I read a little bit of the conversation between Airwing and a few of the other people in there, and it seems like they were just kinda, like, hung up on the Ring 0 aspect of it, like,
yeah,
yes, it
yeah, I
does
seen that too.
operate in Ring 0, it is in Ring 0, but it's not like a fully fledged it's not a kernel level, like, it's not doing the things kernel level does.
Yeah,
Though
when you
the
turn your computer on,
baseline is
it
Ring
is,
0,
yeah,
the
it's
cheat
not
anti-cheat that's
starting.
being provided is not a kernel 0. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not starting when you turn your computer on. It's starting when the game starts, and it does not have full access to admin. It can, and Nikita says they are working on that, but
Right.
it
Which is my
can.
point that I wanted to take away from that, was that we
Yeah, yeah,
did find out, and I think there was some talk about it previously, but we do have some sort of confirmation that we are getting a kernel level anti-cheat in the near future or sometime in the
right.
future.
And
Hopefully with
I
1.0. So,
I assume it's still going to be Battle Eye. I assume that they're just upgrading
yeah,
to
I'd
the kernel
imagine.
level. But he says it's an R&D. He was always kind of iffy on it before, saying that they would like to implement it, but they also don't know if they can trust it. They don't know if it would be worse, where, if someone has a way to counteract that, now they'll have more control over the game. So it seems like they're still in progress of deciding exactly how to go about it, saying it's still in research and development. So they're still trying to find probably the best way to go about it. Um, the fact that it's Battle Eye who does it all, though, it seems like Nikita's asking them to do some custom things for them, and that's why it's in research and development. He's going to have a custom one made.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's just an extra little tidbit, really. I mean, it's we never know with something like
Important.
that. It could
Yeah,
take a very long time. That's the thing. Like it could be tomorrow, right? But technically, could be unlikely. There's a chance it comes with 1.0, and there's a chance that we wait, a year later after that. So just keep an eye out on that kind of stuff. Kernel level sounds scary, and I guess it technically can be, but
a ton of games that you play already do it. So
right, right.
Valorant, I don't know. There's a bunch, but
There's several.
here's
There are a lot. Look up the
yeah.
list.
Here's the other thing. If they wanted to, they could implement it tomorrow if they do no custom tuning to it.
Right, right. Just
That's
baseline. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it as safe
Specifically
and
for
as
Escape from Tarkov and
yeah, yeah, as safe and as
user
specific to
friendly.
this game as possible. So it looks as if they're just trying to do some custom work to maybe add extra layers of security in there. It From what I hear, every time I've looked into Battle Eye kernel level, it seems like it does pretty good. It seems like most people are satisfied with it. it's not the most popular one, and it's not the one most people recommend, and maybe that's why they're trying to do some tweaks to it. So I would just say, hopefully,
See.
near 1.0 we get it, but we'll see.
Yeah. And they do good work with keeping out the majority of the cheating. Obviously, DMA cards and things like that exist, and that will be an issue until we find a way to detect a second computer being plugged in and recognize and read what's on it, which practically impossible. But yeah, for the most part, they do a pretty good job on keeping up and staying on top of some of the cheating issues and some of the more blatant things. But we'll move on from that. We talk about cheating enough, and unless something major happens, I don't think we should get too hung up on it. The next thing
Right.
we have are ref pricing changes. If you thought it was expensive before, pull up your pants. It just got worse. No, yeah. I thought the prices were reasonable. I think that it was still too easy to farm GP coins, especially if you play Arena. So having access to that at all, even at an increased price, was kind of it was like, well, sure, that limits the amount that I can buy, but I can still buy several. And I don't have a lot of GP coins. I know some players have way more. So it's like, but with the current increase, it seems like it's really going to be impactful on those GP coins that you spend. What'd you say the amount price jump was?
Um, the original price bump for hardcore times two. So
Yeah,
basically, whatever it was when you first unlocked Ref last week, now it's two times that.
double. Yeah,
And here's the thing with Arena, it's weird because Arena is always weird. But like we talked earlier, they have their ways of making money. That's another way without having a pay to win game. They have an OP trader that comes with another game.
yeah,
Um, here's the thing though: the more you play Arena, the cheaper Ref is technically in Tarkov because the more access you have to items, the more money you have.
yeah.
So
Your
it's not like
dailies
you're
give
getting it for
you
free. You have to put the
right,
time and effort into Arena, so it's not you're not getting something for nothing. You're not getting everything just because you bought Arena. You do have to
right.
put the time and effort into it, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other side of it: is ammo is still pretty limited through ref.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
he
they've
does have
changed some
some
things.
good rounds. But it's not like I wouldn't say he's broken. I really wouldn't. I don't think he is broken. I think he's strong, he's overpowered for sure, but it's not broken. I don't think anything you can get level 1, level 2 is so unreasonably unfair
No,
that it's just game breaking.
no,
If anything, it just floods the market with a little bit better guns, and when I say market, I mean raids. I shouldn't say market.
right.
It just floods the raids with a little bit better guns, which gives you an opportunity to snatch those up. Because as we all know, the gun doesn't make the player. Sure, you have some access to some ammo, but I don't. I just don't think it's that bad. The most egregious thing to me, in my opinion, is that level 1, loyalty level 1, level 4 helmet. And honestly, this is genuinely my opinion. I was a little pissed off. I was like, "Man, that sucks. Like, that's crazy." And then I looked at my stash. I don't have anything less than level 4 helmets.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they're so
nothing in
easy
my
to
stash
find.
is level 4 or less. It's like, "Okay, wait, what am I mad about?" Because I have no
You
reason to be mad because I found all these helmets on, like, dead scavs, dead PMCs,
yeah,
fucking
it's easy
loot,
to find.
like, just boxes. They're just everywhere. Helmets, armor, stuff like that has been very easy to find. So it's like it was a very minute, like, complaint that I was getting kinda hung up on until I actually looked at my stash, and I was like, "Well, you know what? Actually, I don't really give a shit," because you can only afford so many helmets in at a time. Dailies do provide a large amount of GP coins, but not especially with the new price increase, it just means that you have to grind that much more on Arena. So it almost takes away from your Tarkov time because you're grinding Arena, to get the GP coins to go and buy a single level 4 helmet. So it's fine.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
have
think it's
not ran a
egregious at all. I think
raid.
it's pretty fair.
I have not ran a raid this wipe without a at least level 3, mostly level 4 helmet. You can turn around and buy level 3 armor from Prapper level 2. Like, you can just straight up
Yeah,
buy it.
yeah,
Access to armor isn't that great. Now, if it was 5 or 6, yeah, then I'm upset. You know what I mean? Because you don't have any ammo right now that's going to penetrate that. It's just unavailable. Like, unless you're finding it in raid, you're just not. There's only one way, and that's in raid finding good ammo. So keeping it level 3-ish, 4-ish, there's enough ammos out there, enough 545 BP laying around where you can counteract that. It's still possible, so I'm okay with it.
I think they could have unlocked some of the other traders to level 2 first, but I'm sure there's a reason for it, you know? I mean, and the other half of that part of the reason I would imagine is money, right? And it's okay for them to wanna make money. It's not that's what game
Well,
studios do. So I think a lot of people just, like, look at it as like, "Oh, they're hungry for money." Like, yeah, every studio is, and you would be too if you were running a game like this.
I think I noticed a pattern the other day. I was looking just looking into
It
everything
was
that you
also
could
a free
get.
weekend.
Yeah, on Arena, yeah. But I'm just looking into everything, and I think, at least the pattern I noticed, it seems like this wipe, they're going more for Russian weapons, Russian ammo. The traders that got unlocked only sell Russian things.
Yeah,
Um, no US stuff is available. No good M4 parts. I think they're wanting to also just shift away from the meta. Everybody runs AR-15s, like everybody.
right,
So
right,
I think this is part of the hardcore wipe is like, well, you guys aren't going to have access to that now. You're going to have to be using mostly AKs, and that's what you have access to buying is mostly AKs. The ammo that you find in game that's actually good is mostly for AKs. Like you can find
right.
5.56 and things, but it's like
Yeah, it's just it's
8.55,
pretty
8.56
uncommon,
A1.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not really finding a ton of 8.55 A1 or M995. Like, yeah, you can still find it, but it's not near as much as what used to be. You know, you used to be able to go to the lighthouse and find 3 or 4 boxes of 8.55 A1 every raid. So I feel like they're really pushing us towards just using the non-meta slash home, we are in Russia, like homemade type items. I just, it looks that way by the traders they're unlocking.
Yeah, which is, I think, fair. That's probably
Yeah,
probably
it's
pretty
cool.
accurate.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Make it different. Like everybody can't just purchase M4s one after the other. You can't just build the best M4s every single time. Like you're having to put AKs together, and it's just, it's cool. Like I like it.
it's pretty fun to get in and run raids like that, especially when the majority of your parts are fitting those guns. So it's not like you're just finding the guns and the ammo and you're like, "Yeah, well, great, I still
Right.
don't have the parts." But, like, the parts are there too, like, it's all there.
Yeah, I think
And
like
you're
they've.
right, because, like, I never really thought about it, but I have not ran but maybe a couple M4s this wipe.
Yeah,
I've been on all 5.45 and 7.62,
yeah,
3.9 the entire time,
yeah.
which is a
Most of my
good point
stash
I
is
never really
AKs.
thought of. Yeah,
Well, see,
the
and that's what I
majority,
was sitting
yeah,
there looking
or at
at.
least
I was
Russian
like,
made something.
yeah, I was like, majority of my stash is AKs. And I was also thinking, like, this whole time I've been just grabbing bits and pieces for this M4 I have and these 8Rs I have, trying to put together a good AR-15 gun. I was like, I have a couple, but my access to AKs is crazy. Like, I just have a ton of AKs. And I
Yeah, and
was
I
like,
have
this,
several built AKs, like,
yeah,
several, and I've
same,
lost
same. Like,
several, you know?
built fully, like, as good as you
Yeah,
can get
ready to
on
go
some.
like,
Yeah, like,
5.45 BT, BP.
I got a couple waffle suppressors with some BP, I got some Agonic, like
I
I
have
got
some
some
Agonic as
BS.
well, yeah, some 7 and
Yeah,
40.
it's like I just feel like that they're doing that on purpose. Like they pushed us towards that, and that's the
Yeah,
reason they're unlocking those traders. No other reason, like besides just the direction. Like they're just wanting us to use a different set of weapons this wipe instead of always going for the same old same.
I mean, yeah, I could see that, it's possible.
Yeah, yeah, it feels like it.
Let's see. We've got okay. Bosses were at 100% and then they were dialed back to 70%. They're now at 50% on all maps, so it's less and less likely. And that seems to be the theme of the wipe is as we progress, they slowly go back to their normal spawn rates. And maybe
Yeah.
they'll start doing the, one boss on their map 100% for a week and then rotate again.
Well, that's what I was
I would
gonna say.
imagine that would be the case, but maybe not. But yeah, it's
If you if you noticed, like the red skull that they put to indicate bosses that was on the map at first, it stayed on there when they were at 100%. It stayed on there when they were at 70%. They only took it away when they went down to 50%.
That's true.
So the red skull might not indicate 100%. It might just indicate above 50% chance because they did leave it there for 70%. Because that's what I was
Yeah, they
confused
did.
about. I was like, why is it all still showing
Yeah,
bosses
if
if
it's not
it's only
100%, why is
70%?
that still there? Yeah.
So maybe that's just an indicator, like 50% or above, you have a high
Yeah,
likelihood of running into a
truly
boss.
increased. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I shouldn't say 50% or above, I should say above 50 because right now it's not showing it
Right,
at
right, right,
50.
right. It's a good point. Yeah, I never thought about that either. That's probably true. That's everything I have for this week. Is there anything else you wanna add in or
Um I think that's everything, man. There just wasn't a ton of stuff going on yet. I mean,
Yeah, no,
there
not
is a
really.
lot going on, but not a lot of new things.
Yeah, yeah, true. All right, yeah, we'll cut it there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like the vid, comment your opinions below, and of course, if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 1K. It helps us out a lot and keeps you up to date with all our content. Thanks to our subscribers, and a special thanks to our channel members. We appreciate your support. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can become a member below. We'll catch you next week. See ya.